my dad he's retired now, but he's a Taekwondo grandmaster. He's like
Wow.
a ninth degree black belt.
Oh my goodness.
And I have gay wrists, so I couldn't.
When did your dad find out? Immediately upon
I
impact.
was bored and I was like,
Hello and welcome to Cleopatra. I'm Christy Bonna.
And I'm Lynn Molly, and we are two Middle Eastern comedy queens digging up the funny from the first generation experience.
Our guest today is a multi-hyphenate. He's an actor, a comedian, and a vocalist, and a writer. I'm so excited to introduce to you today Mr. Sam Oh.
hello, thank you.
Welcome. How are you
Thank
doing?
you. Good. It feels so good to be called a vocalist.
Can we define vocalist real quick?
I feel it is someone who not only sings, but is confident about that and can sing at any time. Because some people are like, I have to be drunk.
Right.
When I need the perfect vibe. And I'm like, wherever, whenever.
So grocery store, checking out with the cash register.
Inappropriate moments too, like at funerals or in the delivery room.
Are likely to break into song.
No.
Oh.
That's crazy.
That's a vicious stereotype.
No, he's vocalizing.
Got it.
Yeah. When I am asked, if I am asked. I'm just kidding.
Pray tell, would you please do
Regale us.
Give us give us a something. Give us a little something. Have you not warmed up yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But at the end, you know what? We were just talking about like Patreon. To me, it's not. You have to pay for that. I don't think that's free. I think that's labor that
you can't spell Patreon without pay.
Absolutely.
You got to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And are you a shower singer?
All the
Okay.
time. So good.
So not a shower without a song.
It can be a song without a shower, but it's not a shower without a song.
That's words to live by.
That there should be a shower curtain and or bath mat set available now on our merch. I do.
That's very like a home goods.
It is very
vibe.
live, laugh, love.
Live, shower,
like
sing.
Are you home goods people? I feel like maybe yes.
I think I was more raised on the Bed Bath and Beyond.
I was raised on Bed Bath Beyond as well, but I recently went to World Market in person for the first time. They have a section of snacks from all around the world, and I was like, is this why it's called World Market?
Your first time?
Yeah.
I furnished my entire apartment with World Market, and some girl came into my apartment once and she was like, this has a real cost plus vibe. And I was like, you can say World Market. Because it is cost plus.
I love World Market, but sometimes I'm in there and I'm like, is this okay? Like, are we?
Right.
Am I allowed? Am I gonna get canceled? Some of it is towing the line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The buyer is definitely a white woman.
Oh yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. There's too many heads in there.
Yeah.
Too many faces and
Too
heads.
many faces and heads.
I always feel like
Don't
the
put that on
line
the
for
wall.
me is when people have like that kind of like African giraffe artwork like in their home, like the statues. I'm like, this feels wrong somehow.
I don't think anyone should buy artwork from World Market unless I think like find somewhere else. The internet is at your fingertips. I'm sure you can find some
Go to the
African
world
art.
and buy it in Africa.
Yeah, the world. You been? Go there. You're actually there right now. And it's time to open up the marketplace in your mind.
You know, when you're white, the whole world is your market. You know?
That's true.
The whole world's your farmer's market.
Well, that's another pillow. We should
All the world's
right?
a farmer's market. And I, a humble canvas toad.
That's your core demographic. You don't want to push them away.
That's true. But while we're speaking of the world, we could turn this around your worldly story, because that's what this podcast is about.
What you did there. That was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Transitions.
That was like
what did World Market buy from your heritage?
World Market split my ancestral homeland in two. I'm Korean.
Beautiful.
That was them. Shoot. The 38th
World
parallel was
Market.
World Market.
World Market started the war. Yes.
Okay, your parents.
Yeah, my parents are both immigrants, but I was gonna say, like, I don't know if you relate to the whole, like, my parents came here for a better life, for me, like story and narrative, I feel like a lot of us either have or are encouraged to have. But like my parents both had kids before me, and they immigrated here in the 70s and 80s, and they didn't meet until like in the 90s, and then that's when they had me and my sister.
Wow.
So yeah, so they've been here for like, I don't know, like 40 to 50 years. They're still bad at English and don't know how anything works, but they've been here for a while now.
So wait, they met here?
They met here, yeah.
Oh,
so
that's
my dad
In California.
in Los Angeles, California.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You're from here.
I am from here. I'm from the Valley.
You are the first guest. I'm also from here, born and raised, and you're the first person that we've had that has been, I believe.
Yeah.
what brought them to Los Angeles?
So my dad he's retired now, but he's a Taekwondo grandmaster. He's like
Wow.
a ninth degree black belt. And, that's like what he's done his whole life.
Oh my goodness.
And I have gay wrists, so I couldn't.
Wow.
It just didn't work out for me.
When did your dad find out that your wrists were gay?
Immediately
upon
I
impact.
was bored and I was like, because I would take like so he owned, like Taekwondo studios throughout the Valley, like, and I would take classes, and it was just like, it was really rough. I couldn't break, like, because you have to break a wooden board to get to the next belts, and I could not break the boards, and so because so anyway, so I just gave up on it immediately. Yeah. But so that's my dad. Actually, before coming here, he went to Pakistan for 5 years to teach Taekwondo, and then in the 80s, and then he came to LA, and then settled here.
Wow. Okay. And what was your mom doing here?
My mom, so originally she married an American man, a white American man in the 70s, who was like, I think like a GI or something. Yeah. This is actually, I don't know if this is her story, not mine, but like,
Okay.
She married this man and then settled in the South in Little Rock, Arkansas in the 70s.
Wow.
And then had 2 kids. Her first husband passed away, and then she had to give up the kids for adoption because she was an immigrant woman with like no job skills, and and then, well, I'm like unpacking like the biggest trauma up top. But then
This is a trauma forward podcast.
Okay, perfect. Okay, this episode's 20 minutes long. It's only trauma.
Also, every guest is slightly nervous about their parents finding this episode.
Isn't that yeah, I didn't think about it, but then I was like, am I allowed to? I mean, it's fine. She doesn't. I'm making her famous right now. This is her. So I didn't actually know that I had half siblings until I was 10 years old.
Wow.
So yeah.
So anyway, they found her.
They found her.
That's great. That's wonderful.
So that's how she got to America, and then but then my parents met in the late 80s here in LA. Yeah.
So she moved to LA after that?
Yeah. She also like, I don't know if you have this experience, feeling like you don't know anything about your parents, and then you learn about their life, and they've actually lived so many lives and done so many things. So like, she's lived in the South, and then she sold muumuus in Hawaii for many years, and just like went all around. But settled here, and then that's where I came in. Yeah.
My dad was very tight-lipped about his whole life, and then every now and then he'd let some like really crazy story slip, and I'd be like, what? I would go to a wedding, like a family wedding, and then people would be coming up to me and being like, your dad is the most funny, interesting, lively person, and they'd be like, he was telling us all these stories, like, and I'd be like, why doesn't my dad tell me this? It's so weird. He would just like save it for other people, and then every now and then I'd be like, hey dad, like what about happened, and he'd be like, oh, nothing very much, just ran a surgery ward and in Egypt, and that's it, I'm like, what? It is really hard to draw out stories from your parents. Sometimes they just volunteer it to strangers, and then when it comes to their own kids, they're like,
but then conversely, I feel like I'm guilty of that too. Like I have this whole stand-up career where I'm doing all these wild things, and I feel like I'm never translating that to my parents or
Oh, no.
Yes.
My parents have never seen me do stand-up.
mine neither.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I'm very pro keep it separate.
You know, I
Church and
talked to my
state.
therapist about it. I was like, is
Yeah.
this bad that I want this to be something for me? And she was like, no, girl. And I was like, I love having a Gen Z therapist. This was the best choice I ever made.
Is it worth having a Gen Z therapist? Because I feel like they're actually just going to be enablers.
Right.
Be like, yeah, that's great.
They're always like, you know what? Slay on that.
Yeah.
CBT
Yeah.
slay.
Getting off your medication yourself, slay. Yeah.
Right.
Stalking your ex. Okay.
I love
diva.
this for you.
Yes,
I love
queen.
this for you.
But yes, okay, church and state when it comes to
Church and
family
state.
and stand-up.
Which I think is also a protective thing too. I think it's just
Right.
like I have my home life and I have my parents and who I am with them, and then I feel like, especially when you're a child of immigrants and you're like navigating the whole world on your own, because unless like your parents speak English, but mine did not. They just didn't have a big role in guiding me, so I have this like dual identity where I'm like, there's my home life and then there's who I am and who
Right.
people know me. Like who you know me as is not who my parents know me as.
I very much relate to that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, is this something that I'm going to regret later in life that I didn't show them who I really was? Or is it okay? Again, Gen Z
Yeah.
therapist says slay girl.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Queen.
okay. It's
Yeah.
life's a
She's like, girl,
masquerade.
cut them
you know?
out.
Cut them out. I know. Let's all be Caucasian and put our parents in homes and cut them out. Stop speaking to them.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
good. This
And
is
then
healthy.
we can do a TikTok dance together and it'll all, the circle of life will be complete.
Yeah.
So even though you don't quite involve them in your life, do you feel like growing up in LA still surrounded you with industry stuff? like were you around it?
Hollywood.
I mean,
No,
No,
to be honest.
okay.
Actually, I more and more get angry because I'm like, why the fuck am I like, why am I grinding this hard? Like, I should have all these connects and shit, but no, yeah, it's like I honestly had no idea any of this stuff was here. The part of the valley that I'm from is very much like everybody is a child of immigrants and it's like low income and we're all on like free school lunch and like. I think the first time I really became aware of like Hollywood was when one of my rich friends from high school got us tickets to taping of Hannah Montana.
yeah.
And we went to Sunset Gower Studios and they gave us pizza and
Oh my
we got to
gosh.
see.
It's a dream for a kid.
Truly.
I was and Hannah Montana was and is like one of my defining pop culture things.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's about being closeted.
Oh.
Yeah. So I really relate. That whole show is a gay allegory.
Yeah.
You know?
So remind me, Hannah Montana, she's like a...
Miley
like
Cyrus is half pop star,
Yeah.
half normal person.
You're making it sound like she's like a minotaur. She's like in the daytime.
The back half is a pop star, and the front half
is a normal girl. In the daytime, she's Miley Stewart, and she's just a normal brown-haired girl. But at night, she's Hannah Montana, global pop superstar with a blonde wig on.
You saw this taping of Hannah Montana, and that was your like
That was
creative awakening.
That was my come to Jesus. I was like, I have to do this. This is meant for me. Yeah.
Musically, that was something you gravitated
As
towards.
a vocalist, it was like game recognized game. No, but I mean, I think I've always been interested in the arts and being creative. This is also like back in the day, like 15 years ago, like what we have in like representation
Right.
fully did not exist.
That's
we
true.
all
Absolutely.
we all
The
know.
closest
Yeah.
to feeling seen was Hannah Montana to you.
I was projecting. I was like, yeah, she's basically gay and Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the harder coming out story, being an artist or
I
being
think
out?
I just have very uninvolved parents. Like, I don't care what you do. I'm sort of not present.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why do you feel that is?
Because they're mentally ill.
Because they're mentally ill. Okay.
Because they're just, they're very like, my dad was always at his Taekwondo studio, and he honestly, I think he just like hates being a dad. So he just wasn't there, and he wasn't really interested in like
Parenting.
Yeah. And then my mom is very religious. She's very Christian, and I grew up insanely religious, and I actually thought I was going to be a pastor growing up
Wow.
because I loved Christ. Sorry.
No, that's great.
I thought,
like, minus like hopefully, I mean, unless it made you feel not welcome
Oh,
or
it
like
was
you're
the worst
gonna
for me.
die in hell. And
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like Korean Christianity is a specific. I feel like every culture or ethnicity does Christianity in its own way,
Right.
mixed in with its own like
Culture
and like history. Yeah.
100%.
So but Korean Christianity it's very like.
all fire, no brimstone.
It's a lot of possession, I gotta say. It's a lot of like you go to church and you're like, oh, and Jesus is inside you.
So you did grow up in the theater.
Yeah, I'm the Meryl Streep of
Of the
the
Korean
church, of the Korean church. When I was like 15 and I was like, I can't stop being gay. It was a huge like earth-shattering of I say it like it was an event, but the moment
It made the news.
I became gay. Yeah. It was like an earthquake. And I left church and I stopped talking to like everybody I knew, and it was like a huge like, guys, why is this so sad?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
This is part of your life. It's not it's not sad. It's just life.
It's just life. But honestly, if you
I mean, it is sad, but life is sad. You know what I mean? Like,
I will say my white boyfriend started listening to this podcast and he's like, it's really funny, but also devastating. And I was like, listen and learn, white man.
right.
Well,
I think that's part of this whole thing is like everyone's like, oh yeah, we just had Fumi on the pod.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, do you ever have those moments where you just have this flashback of like, oh, that was a really racist, traumatic thing. Anyway, I'll have a large fries and Coke. You know what I mean? Like, and you just kind of go back to your life and you have those like weird, he called it a ratatouille moment where you have that like flashback. So don't
true.
feel self-conscious about the gravitas.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, I need to be at therapy. I don't know why I'm doing this. I need to see my Gen Z
I can
therapist.
refer you. Yeah.
Okay,
She's a
thank
woman
you.
of color
What's
as
her
well.
name? And can you disclose her first name?
Her name's Hannah.
Of course, Hannah Horvath.
Montana.
Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana is my Gen Z therapist.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, that's what you were referring. I fully went into a Lena Dunham reference, which we gotta.
She's a millennial. She's a millennial
right.
through and through.
That's so true. Well, so is Hannah Montana. She's
That's true.
Fully a
Yeah,
millennial.
she really is.
I don't know. The millennial hate, it's like I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, just let us
Let
live.
them live. Let us crying laugh emoji
Let
our
us-
way to.
This heart makes sense. This one, do you understand? Like
Yeah.
my arthritis is acting like. This one's not okay. I mean, now we're doing this.
Also, people should be nice to us because we are the biggest generation and we're going to be the biggest generation forever.
Yeah.
So we're always going to be competing for resources at the same time. We're all trying to buy houses at the same time. And I heard, not to get into the devastating part of this podcast, in older age, we're all going to be like basically screwed because we'll be competing for elder care and that sort of thing. So make money now is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Invest in elder care now.
All right. And how much are we getting from this today?
This podcast was $1 million an episode
Yeah.
thanks to June Shine Hard Kombucha.
Oh my god, I love
Yeah.
June Shine.
We all do.
God, we should
This
have
podcast
some.
is sponsored by absolutely fucking nothing, you capitalists.
We gotta get Goop to sponsor this.
Yes.
I'm very a Goop person. I'm very goopy.
I had like a tiny sliver of a goop moment. Like
Yeah.
before it became crazy with Vagine candles and jade eggs and stuff, I was like, oh, wellness supplements. Oh, maybe
Yeah.
that's something. And then she really went off the deep end.
We think Cleopatra was the original Goop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She was the first white woman.
She put snails on
was.
her face, I'm sure, because it longevity or
She
whatever.
invented snail mousse in Korean skincare. Cleopatra. Yes.
I think it was Cleopatra.
It was
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Fun
She
fact.
was Korean. I'm claiming Cleopatra.
Go
she
for
was
it.
Korean American.
Go for it. So back to
Yeah.
you realizing
No.
that you can't not be. You know what? Okay, you
I'm
don't.
just kidding.
Okay,
We
yeah.
can go to like
No, please.
college and that sort of
Oh, boring.
snooze.
No, because I went to community college and then went to college like 15 minutes from my house. So it was so boring.
I
So
went
boring.
to real college and learned nothing. And then I went to Santa Monica Community College to take a few classes
Yeah.
and learned infinitely times more. I'm very pro community college.
Community college radicalized me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I took so many like gender studies, like intersectional race, class, sexuality. Like, wait, what is this podcast about?
This podcast is about aging.
Okay,
It's about
aging
coming to
gracefully.
aging gracefully, and we actually have a serum that we're marketing.
Oh,
all you have to
June
do
Shine
is
serum.
get 3 of your friends. Let's talk about first generation stories, and then it's like, what are emojis? And then
we could be talking about just like intergenerational like trauma and stuff, and then suddenly talk about like moisturizer, which
1,000%.
I feel like that's what this is, though. It's the overlap between our stupid interests and our like my mom had tapeworms growing up in her stomach and has a 2nd grade education because she had to go to work on the farm after 2nd grade. And then I'm like, I just like matcha and
right.
lotion
And a tapeworm cleanse
and we're
for the
and I'm
tapeworm
doing
you
the
don't
tapeworm
have.
cleanse. Yeah.
I talked to a dermatologist who's one of the best dermatologists in like the Southern California
Okay.
area. And she said that moisturizer and serums are all a scam. I know.
I don't
I know.
believe it.
I don't believe
She said
no.
the
I don't
only
believe it.
thing-
I've
Sorry, I don't
had
believe that.
demonstrable, noticeable
She said
difference with
the-
my moisturizer.
Only thing, sunscreen. That's the only. Oh, and Retin-A.
Retin-A.
Oh, really?
Yes. She said those are the only things that are actually proven. Moisturizer was just invented by
What
like
about
madmen
vitamin
in the
C?
50s to like sell
No.
product. This is what she said. I'm
don't
just
believe
relaying
it.
information.
Sorry.
Don't kill the messenger.
That's anti-Korean.
Don't kill the messenger.
No.
It is. It is deeply anti-Korean
Deeply-
because skincare is a
it's like the
hallmark.
war all over again. This woman. Yeah, because I have like 30 products that I'm
Yeah, me too.
working with at
Yeah,
any given
absolutely.
time. And it's just layering.
Yeah.
And also I used to use this is just
I mean, you have
skincare.
good skincare. I know now it's a skincare podcast.
Well, it's Cleopatra. She was all about it.
It's true.
Her beauty
Okay.
routine was really important
That's why
to
I'm
her.
saying. I'm keeping us on topic.
I
I'm
like
talking
that
about
Sam's like,
Cleopatra.
I am redefining this podcast and a generational voice at the same time.
Yeah, I've used Retin-A and it dries you out. And it's just, I think it makes me look older and worse.
I used it and it burned my skin.
It burned, no,
Yeah.
the skin barrier.
Yeah.
We got to protect
Right.
it.
And she also said in California, like if you're out in the sun, if you're like surfing or something every day, it's
Yeah.
like pretty dangerous to use. It's
Yeah,
better if you live on the East Coast.
Us 3 surfers.
Always using this emoji. That's why we always got
God.
to.
Because we're surfers, of course.
gotta get to Catalina. I want to Catalina after this, so let's wrap it up. Let's
Okay,
wrap it
you'll
up.
actually know this because you grew up here. Do you remember those ads in the 90s for Catalina?
There were ads?
Yeah, there were ads for the
For the island? Mm-hmm. I don't remember
and it was like
this.
for tourism. And I've always wanted to do a bit about this, but it's so niche. But it was just like they always had these like wailing ads that were like, Catalina, it's closer than you think. Catalina, ah! And it was just so over the top. And I was like,
Whoa.
nobody wants Catalina this hard.
No.
Back off.
Very
you're a
brave of you. I was
vocalist.
going to say very brave to vocalize
Oh
before
my
our
God.
vocalist vocalized
I
on the
know.
pod. Honestly,
It's true. I
What do you
almost
do?
felt emboldened where I was like, I will do this. But I've always wanted to talk about just this specific genre
Yeah.
of 90s commercial where everything was belting out Sport Chalet.
We'll take it to the limit.
I like that you went high and I went low.
Yeah. We should
and
harmonize.
I stayed out of it.
And you...
And I stayed the fuck out of this. Lynn famously
what?
hates karaoke, and I also I love karaoke,
I love.
I love that I have
go
a new.
dead sober. I do
Oh, yeah,
vocal
me too.
warm ups. I actually can't drink because it'll fuck up my voice before, and I go to karaoke to sound good.
I don't warm up, but
Okay.
it's always varying results with me, but I don't need to be drunk to do karaoke.
No. But we need a vocalist like us. We need an audience, and that's what you. That's what you're here
I
for.
will be at home with a book.
You, my
glass
dear,
of
your
wine.
utility is to simply witness me.
Yeah, please hold space is what Hannah would say.
Hold space.
You need to hold space for us.
hold space.
Yeah.
I
I need you to hold space. No,
I do have issues with boundaries, but the one boundary I have very openly set with my friends is that I will not be joining you at Disneyland
Karaoke.
and I will
Oh.
not be joining you at karaoke.
That's-
Those are two things I do not want in my life.
I respect that
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yes,
Yes,
thank
because
you.
it's those
Noted.
are very tempting. I could be roped into either of those very quickly. Yeah. Speaking of Disneyland, speaking of immigrant parents. So even though I'm from here, I never went to Disneyland until I was like 21.
Okay, I'm glad you didn't
Wow.
say you felt very at home on the It's a Small World ride.
I feel represented.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, I'm gonna go into the arts because it's so important to see people who look like you doing what.
Small World
Doing
is
art.
so wild.
Did you see the streaker on It's a Small World
Yes.
recently?
No. Ooh.
I saw that on TikTok.
Why was he hot? Why are these people who are like
Yeah.
unhinged? They all have abs.
There is a direct relationship between hot and crazy, is
Yeah.
what they say. I'm
It's,
sorry, I don't
it-
want to keep using the C word.
The C word.
Unstable.
It's because nobody.
That's, I think, ruder, to be honest.
The
I'd rather
u-
be called crazy than unstable.
It's because nobody ever told them no.
It's like that 30 Rock episode called The Bubble.
John
where-
Hamm.
Yeah, John Hamm plays this
Mm.
attractive person that's never been told no. And so he like orders off the menu and just
Yeah.
never gets any pushback on anything. So it's like, life is great.
Ugh. When did you know you weren't hot? I'm just kidding. When did
Quite
you know?
young.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
they let you know when you're a person of color at a very young age.
Oh my God!
Truly.
Wait, can we talk about this too? Is I for the longest time, and then also being in the gay world, and like being from LA, like you do get to go to West Hollywood like pretty young. Like I think I was like 19 when I went to. There used to be this club in West Hollywood called Rage, that they would do 18 plus nights.
Well, I've been to Rage.
Now it's Heart, owned by Lance Bass,
Yeah.
but before it used to be Rage, and that was my first club. I was like 19.
I still feel too young to be at some of these bars.
Too young?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's because we are emotionally immature.
Yeah.
And so no, I think just like Asian men or male presenting people did not are like having their moment like right now. Like
Yeah.
but yeah, growing up, most of my life definitely feeling like not like I think now I realize if had I grown up in Korea, I would be considered like better looking because they're not racist about
Yeah, absolutely.
like being Asian is not like a thing because everybody is.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think if we all grew up in our ancestral homelands, maybe we'd feel more attractive.
I think so.
We wouldn't have like literally propaganda. Yeah, I remember my sister, like growing up, my sister would try to do all the like blonde hair, like the Jessica Simpson hair, and it just it's not gonna happen for her.
I think unfortunately now with just the internet and everything, it's still, that ship has sailed a little bit, but I
Yeah.
get what you mean. I agree slightly, but there's still going to be, you know, the Western beauty standards, the colorism, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Okay, but curly hair is finally in because I spent my childhood
True.
straightening my hair with a clothes iron.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is what it was.
yeah. I think everyone still feels ugly, but now we all feel ugly in a different way. Like whereas
Because
before
we're
it
all
was like
comparing
some
to filters.
it's like before it was like only some of us feel ugly, but now we all feel ugly, and that makes me feel better.
That's good, yeah. We all have
That's
something
good.
that we can, that is good.
There's
Yeah.
another
That's good.
pillow for World Market. We're all ugly.
We're all ugly.
Inside.
Yeah.
Okay, getting back to stand up in as an 18-year-old. What's
God.
your trajectory been?
It's yeah. When I started to like, there was not the queer alt scene is not what it is today. I actually feel like gay people now run the whole thing, but before it was like you really had to go on stage and be like, yeah, I know I'm Asian and gay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you really like if you didn't start like honestly, every gay comedian of the time when I remember seeing at a micro show, it would start with like, ladies, I'm available. Just kidding, I suck dick.
Solid joke.
Thank you.
Solid.
Yeah, beautiful.
I wrote that.
It's true. There is like the Ellen of it all. The Ellen, you know, when you just have to be like, well, let's clear the elephant from the room.
Yeah.
And I don't know
Yeah.
why I said it like that.
was
The
not-
Elephant.
That's
of just
really not how she talks.
I do still feel like I have to do that because you can't just like pinpoint me and know like what I am. And I do worry if I just go up and
Right.
say things, they're going to be like, why
think
is this
it is
white
about
woman
delivery,
talking
though.
about white women?
Right. That's, yeah, that makes sense. But like delivery in the sense of like, oh, you know, there's some people who just so much fanfare about like, oh, all right, I know what you're thinking. This guy looks like this person and that person had a baby, and I know you were thinking that. And everyone's like, no one was singing that. Just like, get to the fucking, like, what are you doing? And that's
always
like an
feel
older-
like you're probably wondering. Nobody's wondering.
Nope. Didn't even think about it. So yeah, I'm all about address it. Like you're gonna have to say at some point you're gay. We're gonna have to some point address that we're Middle Eastern, but
which is all the same experience.
And those are good.
Those are good.
all the same experience.
Take it or take it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's also something that we as a society have had to learn is like, there's not, before it was just like, there's white and there's not white. Everything that's not white is the same. It's like, no, we now have unpacked that we all have different experiences.
Right. It's more open and diverse than it ever has been before.
Yeah.
For sure.
I saw a considerable change in like the necessity of my voice after the Stop API Hate. I feel like before it was like, well, yeah, I mean, we have like Lucy Liu, so I don't know why
Right.
we need
We already
more
have
voices.
Margaret Cho and Lucy Liu and Ali Wong. Shut up. Shut up.
We're good. We're good. Who are about the best people, like
Yes.
my inspirations.
Of
But
course.
if we're talking like industry and we're talking about like
Yes, that was the voice of
necessity-
the industry saying we already, quote, we already have one.
Yeah. No, I picked that up on that.
That wasn't me. That wasn't a
No,
direct
I know
quote
that.
of me earlier.
You didn't feel like it started, because to me, I feel like it started as early as BLM. That's when there was like the sudden shift in like interest in me and my comedy and diversity and.
But do you see how that doesn't make any sense? But it's like that's how the way that it is. It's just like, oh yeah, you guys are all the same.
Right. Well, I mean, it's also speaking to the same problem, which is people in power deciding that I only want to hear your voice now that there's a perceived market for it. And even when there is a demonstrated market for it, see Black Panther, I mean, I don't think this was necessarily the greatest example, but people really loved Crazy Rich Asians. That was like really fun and really amazing to see an all Asian cast. I know that there was problematic parts of it and people did take issue with it, but the fact that it is like
I loved it and I thought it was perfect.
Right. But even then it's like look how much money this made at the box office, and those opportunities are still so few and far between, even when there is proof of concept.
Yeah.
When did you actually finally start being like, I can do this?
I think, I mean, when I was 18, that's when I did like my first open mic. So I think that's when I started really like existing in the world as someone who is actively pursuing this career. But even, I would say I really knew when I was like 15. It's because so when I was 15, I had a true mental breakdown. I dropped out of high school. I had like 1 year of my freshman year, and then I dropped out because I was like insanely depressed, and I was like coming to terms with my sexuality. But then also that's when I was like very much knowing like I want to do something entertainment, like I want to be an entertainer. So I dropped out of high school thinking that I was like, and then I started taking like child acting classes, and I thought I was like, I'm gonna be on Disney Channel, and so that was honestly a really dark time, because it was like simultaneously like I was going through such a hard time and struggling, but I was also really inspired and like felt like I knew what my purpose was. So that was I would say that period of time, and that's when I like got a screenwriting for dummies book from the library and like taught myself how to write like screenplay format and
I
stuff.
love that.
So brave.
And that's why I told that story. And that's why I'm just kidding.
And that's what. Okay.
What, and
From the top.
5, 6, 7. And that's why. Lynn's so
I'm
uncomfortable.
so uncomfortable.
So
I'm
mad
truly,
right now.
I'm like burying myself,
There's nothing
digging my own grave right now.
It is one of my favorite. Kristen Wiig does that with Maya Rudolph and with Fred Armisen.
Yes.
The songs on the spot.
That's one of my favorite bits.
It really
I
is.
think it's the funniest thing. I don't know why it's so funny, but it's so
Because it's
simple.
silly.
It's silly.
It's fun to be
I wanna
silly.
Silly girls.
I know. It's the hardest thing in the world to be a silly adult.
Ugh, say that. Say that again.
It's the hardest thing in
Put
the
that
world.
on the next pillow. The hardest thing in the world. Silly.
Now it is time for a segment called Dig Deep, where we ask you the deep questions before we run out of time. Because talking to you is so effortless and fun, and it makes me wish we cleared out 3 hours today to talk to you.
Talking to me is nothing was said today. We didn't get into it. And you know what? I want to stay unknowable. But also, I did actually unpack all the trauma so early on.
Right.
And so now
you really walked it back. Like, you were, like, volunteering a lot, and then you got, I think, maybe a little bit self-conscious. And then
That's how my hookup would go from. It's like, I spread eagle up top, and then I'm like, just kidding.
And then you roll into a little ball like an armadillo.
And then we
you
go out for
vocalize.
coffee.
Yeah.
Then I sing a little song. Yeah. Okay, this is the Cleopatra portion. Is that correct?
Yeah, so this is a segment called Dig Deep, where we ask two big deep questions. The first I'll ask, so Cleopatra, as we know, was a very famous Korean woman who who was portrayed by another famous Asian actress named
Kim.
Liz Taylor.
Yes. Liz Taylor also she's why I thought I wanted to go into comedy, because I seeing a Korean woman like Liz Taylor kill it.
Breaking down barriers.
Representation matters.
So if your life were a crossover between two TV shows or films, what would they be and who would play you?
This is a good question and a hard question.
Like, it doesn't need to be an Asian person or a man who plays you.
Oh, thank God. I was like, Crazy Rich Asians is fresh off the boat. I think
no, it doesn't have to be that.
I mean, I do a joke where I say, like, in my biopic, I want Brenda Song to play me. So
I do love her. She is great. So you should be her.
Yeah. She's huge for me. Maybe it's a Disney Channel crossover episode with The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody and Hannah Montana.
Okay.
Disney Channel was like huge for me. That's also a reason why I want to be an actor. One of my favorite movies is Carrie. Because I fully relate to the religious trauma of it. And the mom in Carrie, I'm like, that's her. Mommy. Ma. Yeah. So I would say Carrie, and then London Tipton from Sweet Life of Zack. Because I've always wanted to be rich. I fetishize. I'm anti-capitalist, but also fetishize the rich.
Isn't it funny how that's basically where we are now?
Yeah.
Right?
I hate capitalism until I have money.
Until I have it.
Yeah, then I'll be very happy with it.
And then it's your fault you're poor.
Exactly.
Because it worked for me.
This podcast is called Pull the Ladder Up from Behind You. With Lynn and Christy.
With
Bootstraps with Sam O. I like that. That's
Pull him up. That's the catchphrase. Pull him up.
The Egyptians were buried with their worldly treasures.
Yeah.
If you were to be buried with anything, what would it be?
A blanket.
Okay, because it will be cold.
That's a good call.
Why don't we bury people with like pajamas and blankets and like duvets, Brooklinen? I want to be buried with my Brooklinen.
Absolutely.
This podcast is sponsored by Brooklinen.
I'm going to get an ad for Brooklinen the second I check my phone.
Absolutely. True. Actually, I feel like we should start giving fake coupon codes out. Use code
promo
Bana.
code gay trauma.
Ooh, can we do Brooklinen where the linen spelled Lynn?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Come
good.
on.
I hate how commercial this episode was. It was all world market this and
reminder that we want to be at the top of the capitalism game.
Oh, God, I'm sorry, I'm a Taurus. I'm truly very materialistic. I love my goods. I love things.
I forget that about Torre, but I love them.
I'm very home oriented. Like, I would rather have things than travel and see the world. I'm like, the world's fine. Who cares? I'd rather have.
I have a whole market for that.
I'm in a world market. I don't even see the world. I can just
So you'll get nice sheets and blankets.
Pillows.
Because I truly could be in bed for like a week. I'd not like if
Grandpa Joe and
I'm a Charlie and Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
It's weird when I say stuff like that to like my therapist. She says, that sounds like depression. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't say it wasn't. I didn't say.
Look, if I'm going to be depressed, I might as well be
my
comfortable and look
Brooklyn.
good in my Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Brooklyn and sponsoring depression.
Absolutely.
This podcast is also brought to you by BetterHelp.
Plenty of Gen Z therapists to choose from.
Wow.
Okay, the final question is Cleopatra left a storied legacy as a scholar, as a goddess. You know, we're still talking about her to this day. What do you want your legacy to be, or what do you want your tombstone to read?
I really thought about this really hard because, you know, you want to leave your mark on the world and you want to leave the world a better place. But at the same time, honestly, I think I just want people to remember me as not annoying because I feel like it's really hard to be not annoying. It's so easy to be annoying.
So what you're saying is your dying wish is that I don't release this podcast.
I don't want to be annoying.
As a proud annoying person.
Me too. That's what I'm saying. As a part being a member of the annoying community, I don't want to be remembered as that.
As people of color, I would argue that it is important to be annoying and to take up space in the annoyance sphere. Think
You're
about how
right.
long
True.
white
Make your
people have
mark.
been being
Annoying.
annoying.
You're
It's
so,
true.
and I know we're being funny because we're comedians, but that's really real. We don't have to be likable, and we don't have to be good representatives of our. Like, I hope and pray that no one ever asks me to represent anyone but me, because I think I am bad and wrong and annoying and stupid. And I think
Well, I disagree
Don't
with
say-
all of that, but I get it. Sorry, I
Do you
did that
know what I mean?
annoying
I
thing when the
know.
audience goes, no.
oh,
But
I
it's,
know, but I did call myself.
you're so
like,
lovely.
I did call all of us ugly today.
Yeah, that's true. And boy, oh boy, did we not push
No.
back.
No.
I'm just like, look, sweetie.
But I think like the freedom to be flawed is important. We don't have to be right or good, I think. We just have to show up as our I'm just preempting
No, I get it.
myself so that when I do end up saying all of my bad and wrong opinions, you will be like, "Well, Warren does."
It's true. And I also do think, not to self-aggrandize, but one of the things I do see as like the purpose of this podcast is to bring a lot of humanity to these stories and to show that there are so many ways to do it. And
Thank
everyone
you.
has such a different story and such different trauma that they'll like sort of allude to, but then quickly pivot to skincare so as to not.
I know. Wait, can we do this over? Because I actually have so much to talk about.
I feel like on TV nowadays they're trying to like make people of color like really seen in this beautiful light, but I think it's really important that we portray ourselves as ugly and
I think
Just flawed and
annoying.
human.
I'm
Yeah.
tired of people calling me beautiful and smart. Okay, I think we are so brave.
We really
I'm
are.
gonna say it.
But also we can be unbrave if we want to.
We can be. I want to see you be unbrave.
Sorry, she really dropped her cue. I'm not a vocalist. I'm
No,
a
it's
fraud.
okay.
I'll learn rhythm. It's fine. I'll
Get
be
just tambourine.
backline support.
Yeah. Wait,
Cleopatra, coming at ya.
do you have a jingle? Do you have a theme song?
We have a theme song that I made on GarageBand.
And you're singing?
No, I'm absolutely not
Oh,
singing.
okay.
But you know what? If you want to add some layers
I think
to
this
it.
one could just use whispering, like Cleopatra. Yeah. like,
Sample it.
All right, there it is.
Miss P, whatever.
Yeah.
Tra tra, yeah. Patra, papa, patra, tra 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 tra. You know, I don't know.
Just devolves into ASMR.
Is that the sound of like laying bricks to make a pyramid?
I
I'm
was
trying
trying
to
to
figure
do
it
a
out.
kind of Renaissance Beyonce thing, but it just sounded like I thought I was doing like House and Vogue. But you just were like, it sounds like you're laying bricks.
It's the next new sound. Okay.
Yeah.
Sam O, this is actually so rude that we're out of time because I
know.
could talk to
I
you
was
for,
so forthright and vulnerable, and I am very open.
I mean, we say this a lot and we mean it every time, but we want to have you back because you're just so much fun.
Next time, I will go to therapy before, and then I'll do my EMDR in the car.
Oh, are you doing that?
I've done it.
EMDR in the car. That sounds...
That's my podcast.
For those of you who don't know, EMDR, you have
Comedians.
to like shift your eyes back and forth. Sounds like of something you shouldn't be doing in the car.
No.
Probably safer than texting.
That's true, which I do a lot in the
Officer,
car.
my therapist said I could do this in the car.
And you know what? I'm gonna be a bad driver, and I think that's okay.
I like to end on a stereotype every single time.
Thank you.
And with that has actually been our podcast. Sam, you're so lovely. Where can people find you? What would you like to promote?
My social media at gayvirgin666.
We just want to thank you so much for being here.
Thank
Follow
you.
Sam Oh. He's so funny. Follow him on social media. Until the next time, though, I've been Christy Vana.
I'm Lynn Molly.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
I'm Samo.
Ah, so good. We love to see it. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Cleopatra.